Welcome back. Segment number 4. RealTalkTwinCities.com. I'm Eric with
Bell
Bell
Mortgage.
Mortgage. Thank you, Cheryl. I forgot who I worked for momentarily. And you work for Coldwell Banker Burnet, along with
you
Donna
for that.
Quanrud, also of Coldwell Banker Burnet. Elise is going to stick around for the 4th segment here. Elise Jensen, Azure Wealth Management. She was with us last segment. As always, continuing partner on Real Talk Twin Cities. You can get a hold of her or ask the expert at RealTalkTwinCities.com. Get a hold of any of us there. We're here for you for all things real estate. And we're talking about condos being a good investment property or not, along with rent versus own. And Cheryl's going to have some listing secrets coming up later. So I don't know, are condos a good, I used to have a condo, I used to live in one. It worked out okay, but as far as investing in one, I don't really know, but I think you do.
Well, I do know, as a matter of fact. And the question actually is a condo a good investment property? And by investment property, we mean using it for rental purposes or investment income. And the problem with most condos is there's rental restrictions. So you really have to
Right.
analyze the rules and regulations of any condo building that you are exploring. Typically, if you want to have investment property, you're way better off to go into the duplex market. You don't have problems with zoning or city restrictions. From there, I would recommend going to a single-family home, then potentially a townhome before a condo. But I can help you with all of those things. If you're thinking about investment property, give me a call, 612-735-0553, 612-735-0553.
So you would put condos sort of fourth behind single-family, townhome, on the list, duplex,
I would
for
put
example.
them on the bottom of the list for investment property.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, and I don't know if folks quite understand the rental restrictions. Rental restrictions are in place mostly because of financing rules.
Exactly.
Right.
In other words, if there's a condo building, let's say there's 100 units, and more than 50 of them are rented out, guess what? You can't get conventional
You
financing
have to
there.
pay cash or owner financing, right?
Mhm.
Right, I'm actually going through that on one of my listings right now, where in the past year, there have actually been 4 conventional loans that have been done in the building, which would lead you to believe that the association is sound and that there isn't a problem with rentals. But the transaction that we're working on now, we just found out that 50 of the 75 units in the building are rented out, which means the buyer cannot get financing. We've now lost 3 weeks in marketing time for the seller. We've been trying to find the wrong buyer. Luckily, this buyer has the wherewithal to come up with alternative financing, but this can really upset buyers and sellers if you don't know what's going on with the building.
So you really have to know what's going on. Also, the fact that the association dues can eat into your profits. You know, most times when I've looked at condos, they've popped up here and there. Yeah, you cash flow, maybe not that much. I think the days are gone, but there used to be condos where 30, 40,000 or 50,000 just sort of a steal, and you could get $1,100 for rent. But so in general, one of the good things is you don't have to do anything ever, right? I mean, it's all taken care
That part
of.
is good, but the other thing we've seen too is investors have bought condos and then the associations have changed the rules.
Right.
Right.
Where then they're no longer allowed to rent out the properties. And I was working in one building where that happened, and I suddenly had 10 listings on the market where sellers were desperate to sell right away because they could no longer rent them out. Now, on the other hand, if we take a look at parents having college students and a rent versus own scenario, should you buy a condo for your student or have them rent for 4 to 6 or 8 years while they're on campus? That's another scenario, right, Eric?
Well, yes. In other words, should you rent or own? And do you come out better renting or owning?
Tell us.
I can tell you. So let's pick a scenario that you're familiar with. I think you're talking about a place for about $189 near the U.
Right near the U of M, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, $189,900. Rents in the area are about $700 a bedroom. So if you were going to purchase it, you could have a roommate scenario as well, where your student is staying in using 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and renting out to a friend.
So for a condo that would sell for $189, the rent, approximate rent, would be about 1,400?
Correct.
Okay, all right, so renting at 1,400 versus buying at 189. And in this scenario, I did 5% down.
Okay.
Which owner occupied, even if it's mom and dad helping the kid's gonna live there, so it's owner occupied. 3.75 for an interest rate, modest, amount of closing costs, the insurance, the taxes, and the association dues, 3% appreciation, and a 25% tax bracket, and I looked 5 years down the road. And in 5 years, in that scenario, and this is including parking in the 1,400, so we'll
Right.
leave that, so relatively modest assumptions. And in the rent versus own scenario, you will have spent $88,000 on rent, and in buying you would have spent $57,000. So obviously the lower number is better in this case. So you're 30-some thousand ahead,
Right.
at least.
Yep, so owning is the way to go, wouldn't you say, Elise?
Yeah, absolutely. And most parents by the time they're done helping their kids out with college are getting pretty close to retirement age, and so it can be an excellent way to also diversify their retirement income by having either rental income or just owning the property in general, or even selling it to the children even afterwards.
Right, good point.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, here's how much you're out under each scenario. So if you rent and invest the difference, you will have spent, I'm sorry, let me redo this. If you rent and don't invest, you'll spend 90 grand. If you rent and invest the small difference because the payment's a little higher in buying, you'll be out 87,000. And if you buy the house, you're out 57. So it's either you're out 87 or 90 or 57.
I went 57.
Okay,
Think about
all right.
how much of an impact that $30,000 you have. Let's say you're 65, your kids are out of college, you just saved $30,000 helping your kids out. Think of the compounded interest or impact that would have by the time you're about 80 in your retirement years.
Now, Eric, were you assuming that was having a roommate in that second
No.
bedroom?
No.
So you could see even more
Sure.
cash flow.
Yeah, I mean, that
Right.
would be another 8,200 a year. So you're looking at, that would be another 40,000
Yeah,
really.
amazing.
So you could easily double the 30 to 60 if they had a roommate that paid. That's the
That
other
paid,
important,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
you know.
And with the amount of debt that students are coming out of college with these
Yeah.
days, that you can really help your children get a head start while making some money for yourself as
Mhm.
as the parent.
And this is an analysis I can do for anyone. If you want to reach out to us at realtalktwincities.com or Eric the Loan Guy, I can do a rent versus own. If you're thinking about it, well, geez, I don't know, I can do this for you. Email it, and you can get your own personalized rent versus
Yep.
own.
And this scenario actually came up this week because I have 3 different sets of parents looking for condos for their students, and there's not a lot of inventory on the market right now. So if you own one of those homes and you're thinking about selling it, we have buyers for you. So contact us at 612-735-0553, 612-735-0553.
And I know that if you are going to put your home on the market, like you just offered, it's important to work with a listing specialist like you.
Yep, it is really important. An agent that helps you buy a home uses different skills than an agent that helps you sell your home. It takes a lot more effort, time, and money to get a property sold than it does to help you buy. So you need to work with an agent with an excellent reputation, one with great business relationships, strong problem-solving skills, and the best marketing guaranteed, or you can cancel anytime.
Who
Sounds
would that
good.
be?
That would
Cheryl
be us.
Kemper.
Us. All right.
And again, you can reach out to Cheryl at 612-735-0553, realtalktwincities.com. We're here every week at 4 o'clock on AM 1280, The Patriot. Also Sundays at 6 on AM 1570, the Wall Street Business Network. I'm Eric Pirius with Bell Mortgage. We'll see you next week on Real Talk Twin Cities.